This isn't just another testimony, it's one that unsettles assumptions and makes you reconsider what you've always believed. My name is Jamal Farah, and this is my testimony. I was born in a small town near Baidoa, Somalia, into a family of 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl. Our parents raised us to respect God and to live in peace with others. My father, a respected farmer and teacher of Arabic, often said that faith should bring people together, not divide them. As the years passed, our family grew in both size and belief. 2 of my brothers, Hassan and Nabil, became Imams, just like my late grandfather. My younger sister Marian and my youngest brother Adam became Christians after traveling to Kenya for school. I, Jamal, followed in the steps of my father and became an imam in our local mosque. For a long time, our different beliefs did not create any division among us. We lived together, ate together, and even helped each other with joy. Hassan once donated money to help Adam pay his school fees in Nairobi, and later Adam helped us repair the roof of the mosque when a storm destroyed it. Our neighbors called us the family of 2 faiths. Some said it was strange, but others admired it deeply. When there was a wedding, funeral, or naming ceremony, all of us came together as one. I remember one evening when Hassan prayed in Arabic while Adam quietly said his Christian prayers beside him, and both smiled afterward. We thought nothing could ever come between us. But peace does not always last when the world around you begins to break. Everything changed about 6 years ago, when religious violence erupted in parts of southern Somalia. What started as rumors soon turned into deadly clashes between groups who claimed to defend faith but instead spread fear. In our town, people began to look at one another with suspicion. Christian homes were attacked, and many believers fled for safety. I tried to calm my community, reminding them that violence would only destroy our town. But fear was stronger than reason. During that period, my brother Adam opened his small church compound to shelter Christian families who had lost their homes. Marian helped him cook and care for the displaced children. When Hassan and I heard about it, we went to visit, hoping to understand the situation. But when we arrived, we found the churchyard full of families, men, women, and little ones. Some neighbors whispered that Adam was allowing foreigners and enemies to gather. Hassan grew angry. He said Adam was risking his life and ours by protecting people the community now saw as opponents. Adam, with calm eyes, told us that he could not chase away innocent people who were suffering. He said helping the weak was what God wanted from him. His words touched me, but Hassan was furious and left, saying that Adam was bringing shame to the family. That day was the first time our voices rose against each other. When I returned home, I could not sleep. My heart was divided. Part of me admired Adam's courage, but another part feared what people would say. I began to wonder if our peace was slowly dying. 1 year after that quarrel, the unrest continued. Everyone seemed to take sides, and even friendships that had lasted for decades broke apart. It was during this tense time that something happened which nearly destroyed our family completely. Hassan's mosque organized a youth gathering to teach peace and unity. But some people misunderstood and spread rumors that the meeting was to recruit young men to fight against Christians. At the same time, Adam and Marian planned a charity event for children in the same neighborhood. When both events happened around the same time, whispers began that our family was secretly competing for followers. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love for you to be part of this journey. Our community is built on real testimonies and people's struggles, voices that challenge us to think deeper and live with greater clarity. As you listen, we invite you to be part of the conversation. Tell us where you're watching from, and share how this journey speaks to your heart. Your thoughts and reactions don't just add comments. They help create a living dialogue where others can find hope, healing, and truth through stories like this. A few days later, police officers came to my house early in the morning. They said a petition had been written accusing Adam and Marian of trying to insult Islam and disturb the peace. To my shock, the paper carried Hassan's signature. I could not believe my own brother would do that. Soon the case was taken to local authorities. People in the community began to gossip, saying, "Even the Farah family has fallen apart." I was asked to testify because everyone knew I was respected in both religious groups. Standing before the committee that day broke my heart. On one side were my Christian siblings and on the other, my Muslim brothers. 2 Imams and 2 Christians from one mother and father. I prayed quietly for wisdom, but my tongue felt heavy. I wanted peace, but the bitterness among us was too deep. The case was later dismissed because there was no proof, yet the damage remained. Hassan refused to speak to Adam again, and Adam told me he no longer trusted Hassan. I walked home that day feeling like our family had been buried under the dust of pride and misunderstanding. Months turned into a year, and our family became strangers. We only met during big family events, and even then, our words were short and cold. My mother, who was already sick, often cried, saying, "What happened to my children who once shared everything?" Her tears always made me uncomfortable because I knew we had allowed anger to take the place of love. When she passed away the following year, the wound in our hearts deepened. During her burial, we stood together, but we could not look into each other's eyes. I felt as if peace had been buried with her. After the funeral, Adam left town to live in Mogadishu, where he served in a Christian fellowship. Hassan continued his duties as imam, and I led prayers in our mosque. Though life moved on, my nights became restless. Sometimes I would dream of my childhood, how we used to run through the maize fields laughing. I would wake up wishing I could turn back time. But pride is a heavy chain. It holds the heart captive, and mine was bound. One afternoon, about 2 years after my mother's death, I received a call from Adam. His voice sounded gentle but determined. He said he wanted to visit me in Baidoa with his wife and their 8-year-old son, Caleb. My heart raced. After all the years of silence and pain, I didn't know how to respond. I feared what the community would think, but something in his tone gave me hope. Said yes. My wife, Halima, looked at me with surprise when I told her. She asked, "Are you sure this is wise?" I simply said, "Maybe this is the chance we need." A week later, Adam arrived with his family. When I saw him step out of the small bus, I felt tears fill my eyes. We hugged stiffly at first, then longer. Caleb ran to me and called me Uncle Jamal. His innocence melted away the years of pain. That evening, we sat together under the stars, sharing food and laughter like old times. I felt something heavy lifting from my heart. For the first time in years, I was not thinking about who was right or wrong. I was just grateful that my brother was home. The second day of their visit brought a moment that would change my life forever. After breakfast, my children and Caleb were playing with stones in the yard. Caleb climbed onto my lap and began talking freely, like children do. He said, "Uncle Jamal, in Sunday school, they taught me that we must forgive people even if they hurt us many times." I smiled and asked him, "Many times? How many?" He said, 70 times 7. That's what Jesus said. Then he added, "And we should love even those who don't love us." His words struck me deeply. I had preached about forgiveness many times, but hearing those words from a small boy made me feel small inside. That afternoon, I could not stop thinking about what he said. Later that night, when everyone was asleep, I opened my old Quran to read, but my heart felt distant. I found myself remembering Caleb's gentle voice. I searched online for what he had said, and to my surprise, the verses existed exactly as he said them. For a long time, I sat in silence, wondering why such simple words could move me so much. That same night, something happened that I can never forget. As I drifted into sleep, I found myself standing in a place filled with light, brighter than the morning sun but soft and peaceful. A man clothed in white appeared before me. His face shone with calmness, and I felt both awe and love at once. I somehow knew in my heart that it was Jesus. He revealed to me that I had been walking in circles, seeking peace in places where it could never be found. He let me know that he had called me long ago, even before I became an imam, but I had chosen another path. He showed me that true peace was not in argument or pride but in surrender to Him. When I woke up, my body was trembling. My room was dark, but my heart felt strangely warm. I sat on my bed for hours, thinking about the dream. Fear and joy wrestled inside me. Was this real? Could Jesus truly call someone like me, a man who once stood against His followers? Yet deep down, I knew what I had seen was no illusion. I felt a quiet voice in my heart whisper, "Come to me." That morning, I decided I could not ignore it any longer. The next day, I asked Adam to take a walk with me along the small road leading to the river. The sun was rising, and the air smelled of rain. My voice shook as I told him everything: the dream, the light, the words I had heard inside me. Adam stopped walking and looked at me with tears in his eyes. He said nothing for a while, only held my hand firmly. His eyes told me he understood. In that moment, I knew that my life could never go back to what it was before. That evening, when his family was preparing to return to Mogadishu, I felt the same heaviness in my chest that I had felt in the dream. I called out to him before they left. My wife and children were nearby. With trembling lips, I said that I wanted to surrender my life to Jesus, the one who had appeared to me. My wife gasped, my children froze, but I could not stop. Adam placed his hands on my shoulders and prayed softly. I closed my eyes, confessing my sins and asking for a new beginning. I cannot describe the peace that filled me in that moment. It felt like water washing away years of dust and anger. My wife, seeing the change in me, began to cry. She said that if this was the truth that brought such peace, then she wanted to follow too. Together with our children, we prayed as one family. That day became the start of a new life for us. News of my conversion spread quickly. In a small town like ours, secrets do not last long. Hassan heard it first. He came to see me, his face burning with anger. He called me names I never thought I would hear from my own brother. He said I had betrayed our father and the memory of our faith. His words pierced me deeply, but I felt no hate, only sadness. I told him gently that I still loved him and would always pray for him. He stormed away, vowing never to return. Some of my friends from the mosque also turned against me, saying I had become lost. My wife lost a few of her business customers, and my children were teased at school. But even in those hard moments, we felt peace in our home like never before. Every night, we read the Bible together and sang simple songs of worship. Each verse gave us strength. The more I read, the more I understood that the dream was not just a dream, it was a call. Adam visited us often to encourage us. He brought a Somali Bible and I began to study it deeply. I learned that Jesus is not only a prophet but the Prince of Peace, the one who changes hearts. I had once stood in the mosque speaking loudly about discipline and law, but now I spoke softly about love and grace. My neighbors began to notice the change. Some were curious, others angry, but I remained calm. Even when threatened, I remembered Caleb's words, "Forgive 70 times 7. And I did. Today, as I share this testimony, I am no longer Imam Jamal. I am simply Jamal Farah, a servant of Jesus Christ. My journey has not been easy, but it has been filled with truth and peace. I look back at the years of pride, quarrels, and division, and I realize how blind I was. God used a child's innocent voice, a dream in the night, and the patience of my brother to open my eyes. My family, once torn apart by religion, is slowly being healed. Even though Hassan still refuses to speak to me, I pray for him every morning, asking God to show him the same mercy he showed me. Beloved brothers and sisters in Christ, let my story be a reminder to you. Never give up on anyone, no matter how far they seem from the truth. God's love reaches into the hardest hearts and brings light where there is darkness. Walk in love. Do not let anger or pride destroy what God has joined together. Forgive quickly even when it hurts. Pray always, for prayer has a power that words cannot describe. Read and live by God's word. It is a lamp in the darkest night. And when you face trials, Remember that Jesus never leaves his own. He calls us not to fear, but to trust. My life is proof that no one is too far for God to find. He saves, he restores, and he gives peace that no storm can take away.